Today on the Ayden Jackson Show, there's not a lot to discuss, so let's just go and get right into the episode. Broadcasting from my studio, my name is Ayden, and this is the Ayden Jackson Show. If you're new here, I'm a country singer/songwriter. On this podcast, I discuss country music news and some world news without giving a bias to it. So I'm just going to kind of be discussing some, country music news. There's not been a ton of world news in the last week, like stuff going on in the world too much. At least not that's really interested me or whatever. But on February 14th, I went and watched Eric Church's new IMAX movie. It's of one of his concerts. And it was filmed in May of 2025, which I went and saw him on his Evangeline versus the Machine tour in September 2025. So this was months before that. So I think this was recorded to be a film. It was like an hour and a half. It was really, really good. It felt like I was there, even though I went to one of his concerts on the tour. You know, it felt like I was there in the audience. It felt really cool. Sorry, I had to get rid of the lower third there. Sometimes I forget that's on there. Right now, I am drinking. I'm drinking some whiskey gypsy. It's Eric Church's whiskey. It's amazing. I wasn't sure if I like it or not, but I got a bottle, and I got that a few weeks ago. I've been really liking it, so yeah. Speaking of, I don't think I ever covered this, but Eric Church, Tim McGraw, Morgan Wallen, and Hardy released a song. It's called MacArthur. They released it a few weeks ago. I've listened to it. It's really good. I listened to it the day it came out. I don't think I discussed it on this podcast. It was a pretty good song. There might be, it kind of sounded like there might be a sequel to it or something at some point. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see if there's, maybe an album in the works or another song in the works, but it was really good, and it was interesting hearing them be on a song together because they're all kind of different in their own way. Which, by the way, you guys may notice I'm not wearing glasses, and I've not even addressed that yet. So I started wearing contacts a couple weeks ago. You've not even seen them on an episode yet because every day I've worn contacts hasn't been a day I've recorded a podcast episode. But now I'm wearing them like every weekday pretty much. So get used to seeing me like this. And yeah. But there's not been a ton going on in the world. My life has been it's had its ups and downs and stuff. I try to look at the positives all the time. Valentine's Day, this was another Valentine's Day of being single. So hopefully next year's different. You always got to remember, though, if you're a Christian, that you're not ever alone. And even on a day like Valentine's Day, where you can see all these people posting about their significant other and how, amazing their life is. You're never alone when you're a Christian. So you have Jesus. And I think that's important to remember on a day like Valentine's Day, a day where you can feel that you don't have a partner. And, I've made it clear on this podcast, I think. I used to have a problem with chasing women. I used to, as soon as I find a woman, as soon as I'm attracted to a woman, I chase her. And something I've realized is I'd much rather attract than chase. And I don't think you're ever going to find the woman that's for you if you chase. And I think That's just a fact. A lot of people will acknowledge that. It's the truth about women. You won't find the woman that's for you if you chase. And I want something long term, something that lasts. So yeah, I want marriage in the end. And some people will agree with that mindset. Some people will disagree, but I don't really care how anybody feels about that. Anyways, when I went and saw, I'm going to kind of go back to this topic really quick because we're only 5 minutes into this episode. When I saw Eric Church back in September, I think the concert was like 2.5 or 3 hours. Well, the movie was only an hour and a half, so he didn't do even near as many songs as what he would actually do at his, on his actual tour, his actual concerts. But it was still really good. There were even people in the theater like standing up for the songs and, kind of making noise like they were a part of the crowd. It was kind of funny, but I enjoyed it. It felt like you were actually there, but you got a better view. I mean, I had pretty good seats at that concert, but you actually get a view of him up close and of members of his band up close. I thought it was funny during Drink a Little Drink, Smoke a Little Smoke. His drummer actually smoked. That was funny. And, I used to be a weed smoker. It's been a month and 3 weeks, so we're getting close to 2 months since I've smoked any weed. It's like crazy to say. And once it's been a while since I've smoked weed, I may occasionally smoke some here and there. But I'm really... I'm not wanting to get addicted to it like I was. And, I was full on addicted. Like, I'd smoke a lot of weed. There were entire weekends. There were multiple things that happened in 2025 that made me literally smoke weed for an entire weekend. And, things that hurt, things that happened that just didn't even feel real and hurt. And, things like that happen to you. It's best to have to sit with your thoughts, even though, you may get really depressed, but using weed, it's just like, it makes it to where you don't really have to live out those emotions and live out those thoughts. And some of those situations, I'm not going to get into what they were, but I think basing your value off of how certain people feel about you, women specifically, that was a situation. I don't think it's a smart thing to do, and I don't think chasing women is smart, and that's kind of what I was doing. So when you base your value off of how a woman feels about you or whatever, when you don't really know your own value in the moment, I do now, it affects you. And when you think that you have a chance and then you don't, it affects you. But you can't get too hurt over it, and you can't let it affect you for too long. So, yeah, I don't really have much else to say on that, I don't think. And obviously I do drink some alcohol here and there, even though I'm trying not to, I have it like once or twice a week. I'm trying not to, become an alcoholic, and I never drink till I'm drunk. So, I think that'll be it for this episode. There wasn't really a lot to talk about. Hopefully, things start going a little better in my life. I'm optimistic, but 2025 was crappy, and 2026 has been off and on. But I think having certain routines I have down has really made things easier, and I honestly think that like reading the Bible and praying and working out every day has really made me like, it saved my life kind of, because I mean, there were like a lot of moments in 2025 where I was just like, what's even the point? Like, why? I was having very depressed thoughts, and I've even kind of gotten those a little into 2026, but whenever I do, I have these things that save my life. And you have the ability to change your focus on things. If you immediately wake up and think about negative things, you should switch your focus over to God. Pray. And pray for specific things in your life that you want to happen and you feel like are meant to happen. But then when those things do happen, when your prayers get answered, keep praying. Keep your faith. Don't only use God when you're going through a hard time, because that's what a lot of people do, and I've caught myself doing that. So I guess what I'm saying is just always maintain your relationship with God. There's a lot of things I'm praying for right now, and I have faith that God will bless me with these things. I really do. I'm not going to get into what they are. And if he doesn't, it'll let me know that they're not meant for me. But if he does bless me with these things, I'm going to keep up my relationship with him, because that's important. And I do have maybe some cool opportunities coming up here soon. Some cool things I'm going to be doing here soon. I'm excited about. So there's some good happening in my life a little bit. But there's just certain things that I don't know. It's hard to explain. Sometimes I just get this feeling of loneliness, and when you get that, you really need to pray to God, and you need to remember that you're not alone, because sometimes it feels like I have nobody to vent to, nobody I can fully trust. You can fully trust God, but everyone else I can't fully trust to vent to, and it gets hard. Anyways, if I've opened up a little too much, whatever, I might start talking about a little more on this podcast about faith and stuff, and things I've struggled with that I've been able to overcome, because I think that's important. My weed addiction was one thing. I think every man has a time in his life where he's addicted to porn as well, and I did at one point, and I've not been for a long time. I think every man deals with lusting after women. That's something I've dealt with, and I still kind of deal with, but it's gotten better over time with prayer. So I might start talking about this stuff and trying to really help people out and talk about stuff on this podcast. Anyways, my name has been Ayden, and this has been the Ayden Jackson Show.